evening, everyone, and welcome to Inside Rebel Football. I'm Stanley Dupuy, your host, and I'm joined by acting head coach Kevin Davis. And, Coach, congratulations on the big win against Sterlington Friday night.
Well, thank you, Stanley. I appreciate it.
Coach, I know the past couple of days have been a little bit difficult with our football program. Talk a little bit about the mood of the team and how the kids are handling the process.
You know, kids are pretty resilient, and I felt like they've bounced back pretty good. And you know, it's been tough on everyone, just having the adjustments and all the things going on. But it's still West Monroe Rebel football, and they still love to play the game, and they're excited about Friday night and going to East Ascension.
Coach, I want to talk about Sterlington a little bit. Of course, they were a very good football team. I think they're going to win a lot of games, maybe win the AAA state championship. They have a really fine football team, and they gave us some fits and problems. I didn't get a chance to interview you after the game because you were in the booth, and I know Rick interviewed you. But up front, it just seemed like I talked to Coach Bear. We'll talk to Coach Bear later on in the broadcast, and it just seemed like they stunted, and we had a difficult time getting to the linebackers and the secondary, making those key blocks for big plays.
Yeah, they did a great job on a scheme that we had not seen them play, and so they pretty much covered everybody up. Played what we call a 159 defense on the tight end side, and some things that we were wanting to do going in with a little bit of the option and some of our power run game. When they play that front, it's tough to do that, and so we never could get a good rhythm. And so, but I was very proud of our kids. You know, we talk all the time about everybody's block matters. You know, it didn't matter if you're backside or front side, and we've talked about being one play away, one block away, and offensively, if you miss one, then a lot of times it's just expounded out there. So we talked about that, and we told our kids, look, here's what we got to do. We just got to execute better on some things that we did. Not that we've blown any assignments, but we just got to continue to stay on blocks, and I got to give them credit. You know, they're big up front. Those guys were players last year. Their linebacker core was back. Good football players, and they're tough, and they run around, and so it was a great challenge for us, a great test, and I was glad to see our kids on that last drive go 16 plays and do what they did.
Hayden Federico, of course, he had not been able to practice much in fall camp. He comes back, probably his first live action of the fall. I thought, you know, he just did an outstanding job. He's a difference maker with the offense.
He is. He's such a leader. He's an encourager. He's gonna take kids to another level when he does things. And so, but it was his first show. So that was like a first scrimmage for him. And you know, there were some things that he knew he could do better. He felt like he could have done better, and knocked the rust off a little bit, and he's had a great week this week of practice and shown his leadership skills and everything that he needed to do to keep our kids together and keep them rolling in the right direction. And so it sure is good to have him back.
Well, we're glad to see him back, and the old saying, you can't do much better than win.
That's right. That's right.
All right, we're going to take a break on the first quarter. We'll be back in the second quarter to talk about some Rebel offense and some offensive guys right after we pay some bills, right after this timeout.
We know you. You were the kid in the garage taking everything apart just to see how it worked. The teenager who stayed up late brainstorming and put it all in a business plan. You knew how to build a great team and then lead it. Origin helps entrepreneurs like you every day. From the corner of the garage to the corner office. Connecting people to their dreams is our passion. Every great relationship has an origin story. Start yours today.
For years, you've trusted us with your car buying experience. You've trusted us to provide service after the sale. You've even trusted us to help keep your vehicle clean. Now it's time for us to have some fun.
Polaris of Ruston, where the road ends, adventure begins.
Hey, welcome back to Inside Rebel Football, the second quarter offensive edition. And I'm joined with Coach Barron, the offensive line coach. And, Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Stanley. Good to be here.
Well, Coach, I want to tell you it was a war in the trenches Friday night against Sterlington. And just got through talking to Nate and Matthew, and I thought they played an excellent game. I know you had a chance to review the film, and talk about your offensive line play that night and how you felt your guys did.
Yeah, well, one thing that I very rarely question about them is their effort. They put forth really good effort. And technique, normally being early in the year, our technique has a lot to be desired right now. We play hard. For the most part, we know where to go. But how to do it, we're still trying to find our way on that. And you could see that, especially early in the game, our pad level wasn't where it needed to be. Our second step, our feet wasn't where they needed to be. And I credit, them for taking the coaching on the sideline. And as the game progressed, you could see the pad level falling. You could see the steps shortening. You could see the steps getting faster, and you could see the hands getting tighter. It was fun to watch them kind of progress through that game.
Well, Coach, one of the things we discussed and talked about on the radio was it seemed like that we were really firing out well on the defensive front, but we were struggling getting to the backers, and instead of a 5 or 6 yard gain, sometimes we were limited to 2 or 3 yard gains because the backers were beating our guys to the hole, and it looks like you corrected some of that as the game went on.
Well, Sterlington played us in a 3 linebacker scheme, so what that forces us to do is that we either got a single block or we got to be real fast on our double teams. And we were staying on our double teams a little too long and giving the backer a crease to run through, and that's something that we talked about and we corrected as it progressed. But look, I don't want to take any credit away from Sterlington. They do a really good job. And they got a special group of guys on that defense. They do a good job with them.
Very good team, and they're going to win a lot of games in
sure.
AAA. Talk about when you coach on the sidelines. Occasionally, I get to take a sneak peek over there, and you got the video board up, you can replay the last series and see, if it stalled and we had to punt, you're able to see what happened. It seems like that's just a great teaching element for the kids.
And it's phenomenal. You know what you see on the field, and then I like to talk to the kids. I like to get feedback from those guys to see what they see. Well, if you're talking to a wide-eyed 16, 17-year-old kid, by the time I get finished drawing up the defense on a marker board, they got 15 kids on the field. This ain't quite what we're seeing. Right. So you can go back to the video board. It cuts a lot of that out, and we can see it's factual. They can see it. They know their mistakes. We can correct it, and then we can move on. And it allows you to do that. It allows you to do that quickly, and the kids are very receptive to it. And they do a good job of watching film. They don't sit there and watch the ball. They'll watch their position, and they know the play that's being run. So they do a good job of correcting themselves as well.
Coach, take me through that fourth quarter drive. I thought it was just really special for the first game of the year. Our defense had just held goal line stand. The game was not in hand yet. We had a 4-point lead, and we needed to at least get it out of our end zone. But we took I believe it was 16, 17 play drive, scored a touchdown, and just about milked most of the fourth quarter out.
Yeah, we were able to. I think we got the ball on the 10 or 11. I think the 11-yard line, and I credit our coaches, the play callers on that end is we trimmed things down, and we played real simple, and it allowed us to get in a groove. And last Friday, it's hard to sit here and pinpoint one person or one play, but you could just tell we were kind of out of sync. I mean, it would be a block here, a misread there, a drop here, a run, a route, discrepancy, and it's hard to pinpoint one thing. But we were not in sync. And Coach Davis, he kept it on that last drive. He kept it real simple. We got to play fast. We got to play confident, and you could just see the confidence building every single play.
Absolutely.
You could see Fed settling in. You could see the offensive line trusting the guy beside them, and it was kind of, you know, they're gelling at that right time whenever you have to have it. And you know, we were fortunate enough to go down and score and kind of put the game, you know, in that particular situation, kind of put it out of reach for them.
East Ascension Friday night. Of course, they came up and beat us here
They
in West
did.
Monroe last year, and
Absolutely.
a big physical football team, as I can remember last year. They real big across the front again.
They are. They, you know, they have a defensive end who's 6'6". They have another defensive end who's 6'4", a 6'3" tackle, and then, you know, a little old bitty old 5'11" defensive tackle who weighs 270 pounds. So yeah, it's going to be another challenge for us for sure.
Well, Coach, good luck to you Friday night. I'll be down on the sidelines and see you guys down there in
Absolutely.
Gonzales. And we'll take again congratulations on the Sterlington win, and good luck Friday night for East Ascension.
All right, Mr. Stanley, appreciate it.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back for the third quarter edition right after this timeout.
Coach, look what I got. The Rocket Fast playbook. That's awesome, Sport. What does it say? First, you get him in the tunnel. Second, you blindside him with the wall of foam. Third, you call an audible. Then comes the Hail Mary. You hit him with the fast pass. Coach, it's brilliant. No dirty opponent stands a chance against Rocket Fast.
Hey, that's my playbook. Where'd you get that? Oh, it doesn't matter. Just sing the song.
Fast car wash. Rocket Fast. It's a blast. And your vehicle is clean.
Welcome back to Inside Rebel Football, the second quarter offense edition. And I'm joined by two offensive linemen, Nate Green and Matthew Hickson. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
First of all, I want to tell you congratulations over the big win against Sterlington Friday night. Early on and during the game, it was a war up front. Matthew, I'm going to start with you. Talk about some of the problems that Sterlington presented for y'all on the fronts that they had.
You know, Sterlington, they're 3A, but they're just as big as we are, if not bigger. I mean, they're fed just as well as we are. But they're very athletic, they're very big, so it made it difficult for us to get there and move around like we needed to. We got that fixed. Later on in the game, we kind of had to lock in and grit our teeth down and get it done.
And you did get it done, and we're going to talk about that fourth quarter drive just in a minute. But Logan, early on, it seemed like that y'all were getting out and getting some good blocks on the defensive front, but we were not getting the linebackers. That's what our perception was on the radio. They were making a lot of plays. So talk about that and what y'all did to adjustments you made on the offensive line.
Well, you know, we have young guys. We got one sophomore, one junior, and then we got some rotators, just a lot of inexperience. And I've played for a while now, and
You're a 3-year starter.
Yes, sir. I've learned how to. As the more you play, the better you get at blocking
Right.
the secondary.
Right.
That's the thing. The more experience, the better you play, you get to the secondary. That's what makes the big plays, is getting to the linebackers and backside blocking. That's all it is.
Well, guys, I want to talk about that drive in the fourth quarter. We had a goal line stand, and Nate, I want to talk about you because I thought third down and the ball was on the 1 yard line, and I was on the 1 yard line watching, and we were calling the game, and you made a great play. They put you in the defensive
Yes,
line,
sir.
and it seemed like that you your pad level got lower than the Sterlington offensive lineman. You were able to reach out and trip up, get penetration, trip up the running back. But talk about that play, and were you on a stun or just what happened on that?
Well, I'd practiced that week at a 3-tech, which is over the guard, the outside shoulder of the guard. And I told him, you know, last year when I played defense, I played against Sterlington. They put me head up, and I blew the center up. So when they called my name, I was like, put me over the center and let me blow it up. And they did, and it worked. So.
And it did, and I thought that was a huge play. Of course, the fourth down, they had a kind of a fumble. We got the ball, but Matthew, I want to go back. So Fourth quarter, we're up 7-3. Big drive.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
we needed one of those classic West Monroe drives to run the clock out and score a touchdown or score points, because at that time you turned it over, it's a 4-point game. Still, they have a chance to win. Talk about that drive and you offensive linemen. I know there's probably some talk, and you're getting in a huddle and y'all are encouraging one another. So talk about that drive.
I think we all just shared one common thing, and that was do anything to get it done. I mean, Coach Barron's talked about it. We've talked about it. It's something you got to have playing offensive line. You've got to have the will to get the job done. And we got the job done. But it took some adjustments as the plays went on, and I think it just came down to a mental aspect of we just had to be tougher. We just got to be bigger, meaner, faster, stronger. I mean, we were tired. We've been going trench warfare 3 quarters.
Right.
I mean, it was nothing sweet. But it just came down to that. It just came down to who's gonna be the bad man at the end of the game.
Well, it was y'all were the bad men at the end of the game. I'm talking about a 17-play, I believe a 17-play drive, maybe 16, 17. But the big thing is almost 90 yards, 16, 17 plays, run almost all the clock out, and score a touchdown. That was big, a big play then. Guys, want to talk about the offensive line. I didn't play offensive line, and of course I'm sitting beside y'all, and y'all are so much bigger than I am. But you're not. When I sit beside you, you're bigger, but you're not that much bigger. But when you stand up, y'all tower over me. But talk about run blocking versus pass blocking. This is something. What's easier for you? I'm gonna start with you, Nate. Run blocking or pass blocking?
Definitely run blocking, just because that's what all we've done for the past 3
Because
years.
West Monroe's is a run team, but pass blocking's a lot difficult.
It's more difficult, but we've practiced it a lot more as this season is going, and we've all gotten a lot better at it.
Matthew?
Last year I was on the outside where Nate's at now, and pass blocking was always more difficult for me. You know, I'm known as a 100-pound head because I like to just bury my face and just motorboat my way out of there.
Right. And you had to protect the edge too.
Yes, sir. Now I'm in the inside. And so pass blocking is a whole other game in the inside. While Nate has to get more vertical, horizontal, he's got to move. I man up and we see who's stronger. And so I do enjoy pass blocking, but I would have to say run blocking. Run blocking's for me.
Nate, everybody knows you have recently committed to Louisiana Tech to play football next year. Talk about that process and why you chose Louisiana Tech.
Well, for me it was between Monroe and Ruston. It was ULM or Tech in high school. You don't like either one of those cities. But for me, Tech just seemed like they were heading the right direction. And Coach Cumbie, what he said to me, just it all fit perfectly with my plan. So I'm glad I chose Tech.
Good. Matthew, what's your plans after high school? Do you want to play ball, or you just want to concentrate on school? Or
it's kind of up in the air right now. I mean, I'd love to play football. Football is fun. I mean, there's no better word to describe football. But the thing I'm looking forward most to is just playing golf. I ain't no good at it, but
Well, I'm not any good at it either, but I enjoy playing. You can play that when you get to be old, like me.
Yes, sir.
Last question, guys. East Ascension Friday night. We go down to Gonzales. First trip. We're on the road, and I know you've had a chance to watch East Ascension on film. Tell me about their defensive fronts and what some things for us to look for that potentially could give y'all problems from an offensive line standpoint.
Well, to start off, they're big. I mean, everybody knows that. You go down south, they're big. 5A, they're big. So that's something we got to account for. But besides that, just doing our job. Same thing we focused on ever since summer workouts was over. It's just what can West Monroe do, and that's kind of been our main focus as a unit, as an O-line, is just doing our job. So that way it makes it easier for our quarterbacks, our running backs, receivers.
Nate?
For me, and it's said all the time, but I don't think people realize the meaning of the low man wins. It means everything. And down south, as we've talked about, Matthew sent it in our O-line group chat that they like to run up the field. That's what they do down south. They spread it out, they throw it. So they're not used to a team getting down and hitting them low. So I think that's that's our key to winning, is staying low, playing low, and being more physical.
Yeah. Well, guys, I want to tell you good luck to you guys Friday night. I'll see you down on the sidelines Friday night, and can't wait to watch you guys perform, and hopefully we'll have another Rebel victory.
Yes,
All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back to finish up the second quarter segment right after this timeout.
Do you suffer from back or neck pain, sciatic, or even constant headaches? Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Kyle Nix at the newly opened Twin City Chiropractic. My staff and I aim to provide long-term solutions to help you get back to what really matters, living your life pain-free. Our services include chiropractic care, spinal rehab and traction, massage therapy, whole body vibration, and Normatec compression. For kids to adults, we treat anyone who is in need of maintenance care, corrective spinal care, or personal injury and auto accident cases. Feel like you again at Twin City Chiropractic. We're located at 1117 Forsyth Avenue in Monroe, next to Cormier's, or call us at 318-582-5029.
We know you. You were the kid in the garage taking everything apart just to see how it worked. The teenager who stayed up late brainstorming and put it all in a business plan. You knew how to build a great team and then lead it. Origin helps entrepreneurs like you every day, from the corner of the garage to the corner office. Connecting people to their dreams is our passion. Every great relationship has an origin story. Start yours today.
Hey, welcome back to Inside Rebel Football, the third quarter edition, the defense edition, and I'm joined by Coach DeMichael Dizer, who coaches the secondary.
Sure.
And Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, Coach, I just got to tell you, first of all, congratulations on the win at Sterlington, and talk about how you think your secondary played. I know they didn't throw the ball a lot, but there was one play that probably we held our breath on that you had to do a little coaching, I think, on the sidelines.
Yeah, our kids in the secondary, they're a relatively young group. This was a good opportunity for them to see it full speed, full game for 4 quarters. Their assignment that week was a little different than normal. Sterlington ran kind of a heavy set offense, so we played a lot of 43 defense. So we played with 4 DBs in the game, 2 corners, 2 safeties most of the time, and so our fit for that ball game and game plan going in was to be heavy in the run game. So we asked our safeties to kind of key in on the fullback and make sure we're in our gaps when our run fits, and they did that for the most part. And we had a few mistakes, which we kind of knew we was going to have with that young groups, but overall they did a pretty good job.
I thought they did a really good job, and anytime you can hold any opponent to 3 points, that is a very good defense. And of course, I've talked to the kids a little bit about the goal line stand. And first and goal at the 5, it was fourth quarter. We had a 4-point lead, and you could just feel kind of the momentum shifting. We just had kept hold of Sterlington, and then they kept, we were not moving the ball, and it's kind of a chess match back and forth. And then when they got down first and goal, it just didn't look good for the Rebels, but we were able to have a goal line stance, and that really, I think, changed the momentum of the game.
Right, and that that started with our guys up front, our front 5 guys. In that package, we're in a goal line defense, and Tyler Roark and Nick Williams and Hayden Stewart, those guys did a good job in that situation.
Coach, were you awfully surprised that they didn't try to throw the ball a little more? From the last year, it seemed like they threw a few more than they did this year, and I was we thought that they may throw the ball on our defense a little more.
Yeah, last year they had an outstanding wide receiver in Jacob Barr. Watching them on film, we knew they were a little bit behind skill position-wise as far as wide receivers go. Not a lot of height, not a lot of size, not too much speed. So we felt like we matched up very well with them in that aspect, and so we weren't too surprised that they didn't try to throw the ball downfield a little bit more. They did take a shot, and the guy actually, kind of got behind us, and then, they kind of just went away from it. So, it was kind of what we were expecting.
Coach, I asked Caden and Sam on earlier, and I asked both those guys. I said, guys, when you're playing a heavy run-oriented team, the tendency is, especially safeties, is to keep inching up closer to that line of scrimmage, for run support, because they're running, and all of a sudden they release a tight end or release a flanker, and the flanker acts like he's going to block, and then he takes off.
Right.
And you know, when you're headed one way and the guy's full steam, the other, it's hard to
react.
It's hard to react. I know you warned the guys about that all night long.
Yeah, you know, that was our message going in all week to the secondary was this is going to be a heavy run team, but they're going to have an opportunity in that ball game to take a shot downfield. It's going to be a play-action pass. And so we worked that all week in practice, trying to keep our guys, you know, keying on the things they're supposed to key on, but still being alert for the play-action passes and shots downfield.
Talk about East Ascension. You had a chance to look at them on film. I've asked the kids. They said they like to run 2 wideouts on each side, one back set. Both the Caden and Sam said they a little more run than they like to pass, but they had a good receiver in number 2, and they like to go to him.
Yeah, you know their offense is they're a little more heavy toward the run game, but they will take shots downfield. They do have an effective passing game. It's more of a short yardage passing game. They're pretty effective at getting number 2 the ball in space. He plays in the slot most of the time, and so he's got access to more portions of the field from the slot position. They do a good job of utilizing his skill sets, and so they're big up front. You know, so it's going to be another.
They were big last year up front.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest offensive line I saw last year, and I think we struggled with that, what I call the old-timey stretch play back in my day, how they would just basically run, pass block and let the running back pick his hole left side or right side, and depending on what was going on with the stunts up front, and they were pretty effective last year, I thought, running the ball.
And you'll see some of those same things when we play this week. That offensive scheme is still kind of in set and doing some of those same things.
Okay. Well, Coach, I will see you in Gonzales Friday night.
We'll do
it. And good luck to you guys, and I hope the Rebels can bring back a victory to West Monroe.
Appreciate you.
We're going to take another break, and we'll be back with the 4th quarter segment right after this timeout.
You were an entrepreneur before you knew what an entrepreneur was. The boss of every stuffed animal in the toy box. The kid who had strategy and passion from day one. You ran a lemonade stand that actually turned a profit. Every day, Origin helps people like you who've always had the vision to see the full potential of any idea and make it happen. Connecting people to their dreams is our passion. Every great relationship has an origin story. Start yours today.
For years, you've trusted us with your car buying experience. You've trusted us to provide service after the sale. You've even trusted us to help keep your vehicle clean. Now it's time for us to have some fun.
Polaris of Ruston, where the road ends, adventure begins.
Hey, welcome back to Inside Rebel Football, the 3rd quarter defensive edition. And I'm joined by junior Sam Reagan and senior Caden Cunningham. And guys, welcome to the show. Glad to have y'all.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us.
Caden, I want to talk to you first. A senior, I saw you every game on the sideline last year because you were injured and you got hurt early on in your season, and you had to sit out and watch. And now that you got to sit out and watch a whole junior year that you were going to get to play a lot, and now you got to watch and see how things were. Talk about that and rehabbing your knee throughout the process last year.
Just let you know that you can't take things for granted, and you always got to be aware of what could happen at any type of time. And once that did happen, I realized that now my junior year is going, so I got to get my head back straight, just get ready for senior year. Worked on my leg, getting it stronger. Now here we are.
And you're back playing and starting right now.
Yes,
everything's
sir.
Good, your leg's strong and all that.
Yes, sir.
Great. Sam, you're a junior starter. Last year, I know you probably were on the team, but you were a role player last year, and now you're starting this year. What's the difference between the JV ball and varsity for you? The biggest change that you see?
It's just really tempo. It's a lot faster. I mean, people are a lot bigger. It's just really hard. Got to get used to it, but working into it.
Well, guys, I want to congratulate y'all on the game against Sterlington the other night. They didn't throw a lot on y'all. Most of the time they did throw some, but didn't throw a lot. But you guys pass first, run second, right?
Yes, sir. Something like
So
that.
I think, Caden, if I'm not mistaken, you had a really big play during the game. Sterlington had a little reverse, and you stayed home and helped make a play,
Yes, sir.
turning the running back in. Talk about that play, and that was a big momentum change in the game because it was third and kind of long for Sterlington.
Yes, sir. It's just sometimes when you get put in positions like that to make a play, you got to be ready and make that play for you and your team to put your offense in a better position so they can go down the field and score.
Sam, is it hard when y'all are playing a team that primarily runs the football to get lulled to sleep about getting inching closer and closer to that line of scrimmage, and all of a sudden they release a tight end or a receiver or flanker, and then he's flying down the field, and before you know it, he passes you up?
Yeah, it definitely keeps me on my toes.
Well, you guys are going to play a East Ascension team that we saw come up here and beat West Monroe last year. We lost to them, and those guys were big up front, and they ran the football well. You had a chance to watch them offensively on film some this week and see what kind of offense do they run.
They're like I'd say a double receiver type of team, one back in the backfield. They like to run, they like to throw, like to do what they can whenever they feel that they can. And if we're able to just stop both of them and just shut them out completely, then it'd be a good night.
Sam, do they throw a lot, or they mix their pass and run, or they tend to favor one over the other?
I think they favor run a little bit more than pass. Pass is just, I don't know, it looks like they just kind of put it where they can sometimes.
The receivers they have, guys, are they pretty big receivers, tall receivers, or I know they're athletic, but talk about their receivers or their go-to guys that they got.
Definitely number 2. They like to throw to him a lot. He's kind of their guy in the pass field.
Well, guys, the game the other night against Sterlington, we never felt comfortable in that game until you guys defensively helped make that goal line stance in the fourth quarter, if y'all remember that. And they had the ball first and goal at the 5-yard line, I believe, and just a great job defensively stopping them and keeping them out of the end zone. And obviously then the offense came back and had a long 90-yard drive to ice the game. What was going through your mind when it was first and goal at the 5? Is it just, do you think that they were going to throw, run it in, or what was y'all's thought process?
Thought process during that time really is just to be aware of all circumstances, just watching the ball, when they're going to hike the ball, try and get more downs and more downs to play. So basically just try and shut out anything they try and give us in that first and goal timing.
Sam?
Yeah, just basically, I thought they were going to rail up the middle every single time, but they ended up bouncing out a few times, and luckily we had somebody stop it out whenever they tossed it out and they missed it.
Right. I was awfully surprised. I thought they were going to pound it 4 times just right up the gut.
That's what I thought.
So, well, guys, I want to tell you, I can't wait to see y'all on the sidelines Friday night down in Gonzales, Louisiana. Big road trip for the Rebels. We go play the East Ascension Spartans. And good luck to y'all, and I'll see you down in Gonzales Friday night.
Sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay. We'll be back right after this. Time out.
Do you suffer from back or neck pain, sciatic, or even constant headaches? Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Kyle Nix at the newly opened Twin City Chiropractic. My staff and I aim to provide long-term solutions to help you get back to what really matters, living your life pain-free. Our services include chiropractic care, spinal rehab and traction, massage therapy, whole body vibration, and Normatec compression. For kids to adults, we treat anyone who is in need of maintenance care, corrective spinal care, or personal injury and auto accident cases. Feel like you again at Twin City Chiropractic. We're located at 1117 Forsyth Avenue in Monroe, next to Cormier's, or call us at 318-582-5029.
All right, so let's take a look at last week's highlights. Here we're under center. We motion across. You can see Fed kind of rolls away from the motion. He does a really good job of finding the H-back there. He kind of sneaks across the formation. I thought it's a tough throw by Fed. It's a really, really good catch. You can see we have solid protection there. You have Matthew Hickson, you have Nate, you have Ty George. You have Cooper Simmons on the right side. Fed kind of boots away to the field. Nate pins him up. Case Martin makes a really good catch, able to move the sticks. Kind of in our spread formation here. Caden Willis just kind of takes the inside zone play. He's able to get us another first down there. And if you see Caden, when Caden hits a hole and Caden makes contact in open field, normally Caden wins. You can see the center in there, Jovi Johnson. You can see Ty George and Matthew Hickson. They kind of open it up for him, right up the gut, right what we're trying to hit. And Caden's got good vision. He gets out in the field, and Caden's going to fall forward. He normally makes the defender pay for that tackle. Here in our 2-by-2 formations, you can see Fed, he kind of steps up. They rushed real high on the defensive ends. Fed's able to step up to get away from the pressure and finds Trez Davis down on the sideline. Trez does a really good job here. I think that's kind of the scramble drill that Coach Goins works with those guys. You can see Trez has a sideline route, but when you see Hayden kind of directing traffic, Trez does a good job of getting up the field on the sideline. Hayden does a good job of finding him. That's one of those things you see them work in practice, and it makes you smile when you see them work in a game. They come with a 3-man rush. They're real high on the edges. Nate and Cooper do a good job of kind of keeping the defender, taking him deep whenever he wants to go. We're solid in the middle. This is my jam right here. You can see we're kind of in a too-tight formation, but we're off with the H-back, running the triple option to the right side. And if you notice right here, your fullback, you can watch the right side defensive end. He goes out. If Case was able to keep his footing, Case scores there. Hayden was able to pitch it to Caden Willis. Caden Willis goes in for the touchdown. Really good job. Cooper Simmons kind of getting up to the second level. Caden Willis going in. He's hard to be denied when the end zone's in sight for him. We're lining up here. We're sprinting out Hayden. Hayden does a really good job of sprinting out. He's comfortable sprinting out of the pocket. And a lot of times when he does that, Hayden has the freedom. If he sees green grass, go take it. We have a little sprint out there. We have good protection. Hayden's able to find Grant Edmiston there over the middle. Grant does a good job of catching it, securing it. Hayden fits it in a tight window, able to get another first down. Also here kind of in our spread package, but if you see we also have a tight end in now. And we're able to throw a little screen pass. Sterlington was real heavy blitzing off the edge. Had them charted real heavy blitzing off the edge, so we were able to take advantage of them right there. Got to see the guy coming. You see the linebacker, number 7. Jay Austin does a good job of selling it. Got some downfield blocking there. Nate Green was actually able to do a sidewalk block, is what we refer to it, and get down the sidewalk and able to get flat and kind of pin the guy back inside, and not able to spring Jay Austin for a few extra yards. Jay does a really good job of selling that as well. We're in a 3-by-1 formation here. Hayden just has a swing route. He just reads I think he reads that front side defensive end. If the defensive end comes to him, if Hayden dumps it off to the back, if the defensive end rushes upfield, if he rushes upfield to him, he can dump it off to the back. If the defensive end goes out to the back, Hayden will throw the screen back the other way. Hayden does a good job of keeping his composure, even with pressure in his face, able to deliver a clean, catchable ball. And Caden Willis does a good job of getting downfield with it. You see, I think that's Cooper Simmons there. You see Ty George running downfield blocking. That's something that we work on. And those guys do a good job. Now, if I remember correctly, this is kind of one of my favorite drives. We get down here, we run, I think we end up running the option here out of the gun. We get a good line push there at the point of attack. Our center's able to come out and get in the way of the linebacker. Caden Willis is able to rumble for another first down. Hayden here, he'll read the backside end. We base it there, so we go ahead and just give it to Caden and let him get it there. All right, it's a big third down here. We're in a 2-by-2 formation. Huge third down. He just throws a hitch to Grant Edmondson. I think Coach Davis calls that a gift. If they give you a gift in your pre-snap read, if they give you a present, take it every time. And that's something that Hayden has the freedom to do. That's something those wide receivers understand. When they get a gift, they will take it. He does a good job at that. You see our offensive line here. We get good protection. Here. Hayden's able to deliver, get his back hip through the throw, and does a good job. Now this is actually a continuation of the same drive here. We run the toss and then reverse it back to David Moore. You can see Nate Green out front, but sometimes big man blocking the safety in space isn't quite a good matchup for him. But look, when David has a ball in his hands, he's a special player. And Nate's kind of able to shield the defender away, shield the safety away long enough to allow David to make a cut. David makes a cut, and David's able to do what David's able to do, what David's good at. And when you're inside the red zone with the ball in number 7's hand, I really, really like our chances. Offensive line there, we're just blocking toss. We're blocking toss, and we're sneaking the backside tackle out the back door. It ain't pretty, but, we were able to score, and that kind of put the game out of reach for them.
All right, for defensive highlights, we'll start right now. Starting out, Sterlington's kind of, backed up. Kickoff did a good job of holding them there. Coming out of the gate, Tyler Roark, number 18, does a good job of crashing inside the tight end, stopping the fullback for a short gain here on first down. Just a good job of him reading his keys and fitting in his gap and making a play for the defense right off the bat. Next play, Sterlington's coming out, trying to get their offense going. They try to run a naked quarterback boot here. Number 21, Zach Former for us, playing strong safety, does a good job of staying at home, following and reading his keys, making a good tackle for us here on the quarterback, minimizing this gain. He does a good job of fitting outside, containing that ball, and beating that blocker to the outside edge. It's a good play by Zach. We got good pursuit from our inside guys. D linemen are running to the ball. That's always good to see from a defensive standpoint. Sterlington kind of putting this drive together. They've been able to have some success here on a 2nd and long. They're trying to get their passing game going, trying to keep us honest so we're not loading the box. Parker Todd, number 32, does a good job on his blitz of pulling up the quarterback here, triggering on the quarterback, getting him to pull the ball down. Again, defensive line is doing a good job running to the ball. Number 92, Hayden Stewart, Colin Watkins, and Tyler Roark are all in pursuit here and getting in on this quarterback sack. Here we have them backed up, kind of a 3rd and long situation. Do a good job here of holding them to a field goal. Hayden Stewart does a good job getting off blocks, kind of splitting and getting into that gap, making a play right there for a tackle for a loss. This will lead to a field goal attempt by Sterlington to kind of stall that drive out for us and get us off the field here. Coming out on the next possession, the Panthers are still trying to get, something established, play action pass here. Hayden Stewart does a good job again, slipping through. He just does a good job of getting off the ball here, and he's able to beat that lineman making the quarterback have to pull up and throw that ball before he's ready. So anytime you're getting good D-line play up front, that's always going to have a positive effect for the rest of the defense. Sterlington here is still trying to, establish that running game. Caden Cunningham does a good job. He's playing corner here at the bottom. He's kind of rolled down in a cloud position. Does a good job of reading the blocks and staying outside and folding in and making that tackle. Again, Colin Watkins, number 46, Parker Todd does a good job of getting off blocks as well. Looking at a 3rd and short here for Sterlington. This is a really good job by Tyler Roark. Again, he's crashing inside of the tight end. That's a call that Coach Arledge has put in up front for him. He does a really good job of getting across the face of that tight end and forcing the fullback to stop there, keeping that gain to a short yardage gain. Sterlington elects to go for it here on 4th down. This is going to be a pivotal moment for us in the first half, but Sterlington goes for it on 4th down. We do a good job of getting the call in. Colin Watkins and Jaden Neck, number 34. They do a good job on the front side of reading their keys. We're keying that fullback. That fullback takes us to the ball. Those two guys do an outstanding job on 4th down of making that play and getting us off the field. Again, there's good pursuit from the backside as well. Here we kind of have Sterlington backed up in their own territory here, so we're just trying to do the best we can to keep the field in our favor. Defense does a good job. A lot of guys flying the ball. Chris Dade comes flying up here. Chris Dade is playing corner for us. You'll see Sterlington kind of doing a check with me, just trying to make an offensive adjustment to the pre-snap reads that they see. Again, just a good job of guys beating blocks. Chris Dade did a good job coming up here. Ball comes out. I think Sterlington ends up getting on that ball. But it's always good for us when we're getting hats on the ball. Again, you're just watching Sterlington. They're trying to get themselves in the best position to be successful offensively versus what they see pre-snap. Guys just do a good job of executing their assignments. Again, when you're running to the ball, good things will always happen for your defense. Next possession, Sterlington comes out, trying to get their running game going on the outside. Colin Watkins, Tyler Roark do a really good job of beating blocks. Anytime you get a running team behind the chains on 1st down, that's always going to be a positive for your defense. Good job by Cole Michael Stevens of getting us aligned and making those adjustments pre-snap. Sterlington trying to run the dive here. Quarterback pulls it. Nick Williams and sophomore linebacker Smokes Lilly, Cole Michael Stevens, they all do a good job of reading their keys. Again, we're keying heavy on the fullback. These guys do a good job. As you see, there's 4 to 5 guys there on the quarterback when he pulls that ball. So guys are really doing a good job of reading their keys and getting in their gaps and executing their assignments. Here's a little play action pass. Quarterback tries to roll out the backside. Parker Todd, linebacker, does a good job of staying in his zone, getting to his zone drop, getting his hands on that ball for a pass breakup. Good quarterback pressure from the D-line up front. Again, they did a good job pretty much all night pursuing the quarterback in passing situations, beating blocks. Smokes Lilly does a good job here of retracing the steps and going after the quarterback. We're kind of backed up here in the red zone. We got our backs against the wall. Tyler Roark does another good job. He's slanting in the B gap here, Coach Arliss did a really good job Friday night calling plays for him. He did a really good job of just executing that assignment. You know, again, we have our backs up against the wall, so we're trying to make sure we can hold them to a field goal or we can get a 4th down stop if they elect to go for it. This is a good job of our defense kind of just coming together. We had to call a timeout here at one point to get ourselves in the best situation. But you had guys up front. J.Q. Turner did a good job on this drive of reading quarterback and staying with the quarterback. Fourth and goal here, you're going to see Sterlington come out. We had a timeout. They're going to take their time, try to get themselves in the best situation, the best play call. We do a good job of crashing off the edges and providing immediate pressure, causing the quarterback to have to pitch the ball sooner. You know, him pitching it on the ground led to that 4th quarter stop for us and 4th down stop as well. Jaden Neck does a good job of pursuing the pitch man here. This was a pivotal moment for us in the ball game as a defense and as a team as a whole. The guys did a really good job of responding to that situation right there at the end. This is toward the end of the game. Tyler Roark, again, just doing a good job of reading his keys. He felt the lineman kind of letting him go, so he kind of pulled off his pass rush excuse me, and made a play on the ball for us here to seal the ball game.
All right, well, thank you. That'll do it for last week's highlights.
For years, you've trusted us with your car buying experience. You've trusted us to provide service after the sale. You've even trusted us to help keep your vehicle clean. Now it's time for us to have some fun.
Polaris of Ruston, where the road ends, adventure begins.
You were an entrepreneur before you knew what an entrepreneur was. The boss of every stuffed animal in the toy box. The kid who had strategy and passion from day one. You ran a lemonade stand that actually turned a profit. Every day, Origin helps people like you who've always had the vision to see the full potential of any idea and make it happen. Connecting people to their dreams is our passion. Every great relationship has an origin story. Start yours today.
Hey, welcome back to Inside Rebel Football, the 4th quarter edition, and I'm joined again with acting head coach Kevin Davis. And Coach, we're first big road trip of the game. We got to go to Gonzales, Louisiana, outside of Baton Rouge, and play East Ascension, who came up and beat West Monroe last year. I've had a chance during the show to talk to a lot of the kids and the coaches, and they say they're still big, they're still physical, and what do we got to do? And I know y'all probably looked at the film from last year and looked at their film. I played Zachary last week. So your thoughts on East Ascension?
Athletic, like you said, big. I don't know where they find those guys in the offensive line, but they're huge. Defensively, don't think they're as heavy as they were last year. They're still athletic, but we feel like there's some things we can do to move the football and throw it around a little bit. You know, I'm not a proponent of saying we're going to be 80-20 or we're going to be 60-40 or we're going to be, 50-50. We're going to take what they give us. I'd love to be able to establish the run, and it might not be in a double tight or a heavy look. It just might be in our Jets package, which is our 4 wide or just 1 tight end, 3 receivers. But anything that we can find a rhythm at and establish a run and get Hayden going, because that's the big thing. You got to get Hayden comfortable and get the ball in hands of people that make plays, and that's kind of what we're looking forward to doing.
Yeah. Coach, a lot of coaches say they like to do this, and some say I have it scripted and then I throw it away. But the first 2 or 3 plays of the game, most every game, do you like to script that, or do you? It depends on where we are and whether we got the ball on the kickoff and what has happened.
I like to script. I'm gonna put 7 plays on a sheet, the whole perfect number, and so that's what we do. And you might have to get off that script a little bit, But we usually in the first 2 series can run through that script and get all those plays in and check those boxes and see how did they line up like we thought they would. Are they lined up different than we thought they did? Okay, let's make the adjustments off of that. And so that's really important. And it's so good to have Hayden out there because we've been together for so long that we kind of think alike, and he knows what I'm looking for, and he understands what we're trying to do, and he don't push things too much. He don't push that envelope. So it's nice to have that, and it makes it a whole lot easier to call plays.
It just seems like when he was quarterbacking Friday night, just the ability to roll out and to get away from pressure, especially on the edge, and how quick he is, and he knew when to throw it, and he didn't have to run the ball hardly at all very much. It seemed like they were spying on him to a certain degree, but yet there was always Edmonston or a running back. Somebody was open that he made some really good throws.
He did, and we try to keep it as simple as possible. We're not a big intermediate down the field, but we're going to take our shots when we get them. And we keep that thing around the RPO range where he can hand it if he wants to, or he can throw it if they're giving him that option. And, you know, his ability in the pocket, he's comfortable outside, so we like to move him around, whether it be play action or it be sprint out. And then what we've really worked on this year is pocket presence, and him, when he does pull it down in that pocket, and they're playing man or whatever they're playing, he's got a chance to make big yards. So that's kind of the way we're looking at it.
East Ascension, I don't know if you had a chance to know, are they still some tickets? Did they send us some tickets we could buy at the office, or for fans that are watching the show?
They're supposed to have sent us tickets, but it's been extremely hard to get in touch with these people.
Right.
I talked to some this morning that told us what we needed to do when we got there. I know there was supposed to be some comp tickets sent, but other than that, we haven't really heard anything about.
You don't know what they're going to be
on
the walk-up tickets? Are they $10 or? You know?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I do not know that.
All right. Well, Friday night the Rebels will travel to Gonzales to play East Ascension. Be on the road for the first time, a good road trip down, about a 4-hour drive, and the Rebs will probably leave late morning and stop somewhere and do a pregame as you usually do.
Yes.
And then we'll head on into the stadium and bust the kids there and get them ready to play. So, Coach, I want to wish you well and wish you good luck Friday night, and I'll be down on the sideline with you, and I guess you're going to be on the sideline this game instead of up in the booth.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I can't wait to see you Friday night. Good luck to the Rebels, and this will do it for this edition of Inside Rebel Football. The Rebels are 1-0. They'll travel to East Ascension Friday night. If you can't be there, join us on the radio. This is Stanley Dupuy. Good night. God bless. Go Rebels.